Cheryl Preheim is joining us now from our 11 Alive streaming center. Cheryl, a lot of folks getting ready to just lock it down and be in their homes. And that's what not only our team of meteorologists, but also local leaders, state leaders have really been asking people to make the preparations all throughout the week so that they could be ready at this time, right about now, to lock things down. Cheryl.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Ron and Jennifer. A lot of it is really bracing for impact, especially when we're talking about power outages. Our meteorologists have been talking us through the impact of ice on power lines and the hundreds and hundreds of pounds of weight just a little bit of ice can put on a line. So we really wanted to talk to Georgia EMC. Let's bring in Kim Broun, the spokesperson for Georgia EMC. Thanks for the time, because I know you and your team are so busy right now. Let us talk us through this. Is it just a matter of not if, but when, and just how big the impact's going to be?
Well, yes, unfortunately, Fern is upon us. She is coming no matter what we can do. We are kind of braced for impact, as you said. You know, EMCs have been prioritizing their preparation throughout the week and just getting ready for the impact that Fern will bring. It does look like that northeast Georgia area is going to take the hardest hit. We have been able to pre-position crews in those hardest hit areas. We've got extra crews coming in from Florida, thanks to mutual aid agreements, as well as EMC crews from South Georgia coming up to lend a hand in that area as well.
You know, there is this level of anticipation, Kim. I was driving on 85 today, and I saw a few raindrops. I thought, oh boy, here we go. I know your crews are feeling that too. And for you all, Georgia EMC covers a vast majority of our state, 5 million customers. Talk us through just how big this puzzle is that you're trying to put all the pieces in place when you're talking geography and your reach over the state of Georgia.
Absolutely. So EMCs are electric membership corporations. So we are not-for-profit utilities in the state, covering 5 million Georgians, as you said, and 73% of the state's landmass. So when EMCs were first formed back in the 1930s, they were formed to help bring power to those rural areas that were not served previously. So it serves kind of a more rural landscape and a less dense population line. So in city areas where you might have 30 meters per mile of line, EMC service areas can look a little different and have less meters per mile. So yes, we do cover quite a bit of the area of the state, and again, serving 5 million Georgians. So it's a large group that we serve.
So are you kind of looking at the map right now, knowing that this northeast part of our state is sort of the bullseye? Are you already mobilizing more resources to the areas you anticipate will have the biggest power outages?
Yes, we definitely have focused our efforts in that northeast Georgia area, but we definitely don't want to leave our other EMCs hanging, because with these winter storms, you just never know what damage you can see. All it takes is a couple of degrees to really change what those outages look like. So we really have crews stationed throughout the state just ready to cover whatever comes our way.
Really good point, because anybody who's been, especially in Metro Atlanta, for any period of time understands how quickly a tree can go down and the impact that can have, just one tree coming down on a neighborhood and power, things like that. Are you all kind of looking at it as phases, like phase one is the preparation, phase two being just the response on the ground?
Absolutely. So phase one of preparation, that's what we've been focusing on throughout the week. EMCs have just been prioritizing being prepared and, you know, getting extra materials on hand, having extra poles and wires stocked in their trucks, getting their vehicles winterized for these winter conditions, and also talking to vendors and having those doors open to bring those extra materials in as needed. And again, you know, they're kind of at the point now they're prepared, and now we're just waiting on that big event, so to speak. And then once it hits, the evaluation will start to see what the damage is and the best place to tackle it.
How important, Kim, is it for people to realize we could be in for a bit of a long haul here? You know, sometimes the lights flicker or the power goes out and the expectation is a really fast turnaround to get things back online. But when you look at this system, how big it is, and then the cold temperatures reaching into Tuesday, Wednesday, are you really trying to emphasize the message that this could be a long go?
Unfortunately, in those hardest hit areas, it could be a multi-day event in those areas. Another factor we're facing with this system is the fact that the temperatures are going to drop again on Monday after the storm passes. So in those areas where it does get above freezing, it's going to refreeze again. So it's not uncommon with this ice storm restoration that you have an opportunity to go out there for the EMC lineman to repair these lines, and then the night will fall and your temperature will drop again, and you'll have a refreeze and more ice on lines, more tree limbs on the lines, that sort of thing. So it's kind of an ebb and flow process in restoration from a winter storm.
And quickly before we go, obviously the lineman's response depends on how much ice they're encountering on the roads too.
Oh, absolutely. Safety of our linemen, or the EMC linemen, is number one priority. So EMCs, they will send their linemen out when it is safe to do so. I mean, right during the middle of the storm, they're going to be hunkered down like everyone else is. It's not something we want to put the linemen at risk for. So we just ask for patience. You know, these linemen are people too, and they have prepared for this storm. And believe me, these linemen are dedicated individuals and are ready for their main event. You know, it's kind of like an athlete preparing for a game. They're ready for the game, but they're going to do it safely, and they're going to wait to the right moment to do that.
We'll pass along our thanks, Kim, to everybody on your crews and their family members who are going to be missing them for a couple of days, too, for a big couple of days ahead. We really appreciate the time, Kim Broun with Georgia EMC. Take care. Be safe out there, too.
Thank you.
All right, Jennifer and Ron, I think the takeaway more than anything is just we are on the cusp of what could be a pretty long couple of days. Everybody's going to have to lock it in and be patient for sure.
Yeah, you know, we are prepared. They are prepared. Of course, state officials are prepared. Now it's all about the big event that's going to be with us here in the next few hours.
And hoping for the best. We're hoping for some warming conditions to come into our way once the storm passes.